Coach, just trying to first get an update. Have you guys done any 5-on-5 with him yet?
No.
Where is he at as far as when he play tomorrow?
He's doing court work. No, he will not play tomorrow. So he's ramping up his court work. We feel like he's making good progress. I think he's like 9-10 days out. So the next few days are big, and we'll just see how he progresses each day.
I'm curious with Colin. Obviously, he's on a two-way. The only way he could play in a postseason situation, you have to waive a guy. Has that been discussed as far as that process of him with the group moving forward?
No, I think there's obviously an awareness of it. Happy with what he's bringing. Really both ends of the court. He's been positive. So, we just want him to keep playing well. The group is everybody's pushing for everybody. So, when we need to address something like that, I'm sure we will.
Another thing I had was the spacing. I just find it interesting when it's Colin and Ryan also out there. They seem to be in the spots that you want that helps Kevin and Devin. Is that because of them just, hey, I gotta follow these rules to be on the floor, or is it just them as players just being disciplined and being in the right spots?
No, it's, I think we're spending a lot of time trying to talk about our spacing, work on it, look at film, and I think Ryan is really growing. There's a lot of things that we throw at Ryan, and so his growth and understanding, spacing and timing and where he can and should be, and Oso and Colin's similar. Oso's got just kind of a natural instinct for spacing and movement, and I think Colin's figuring it out too. So all three of them, it's just they're trying to find ways to help us win, and correct spacing is a one that's probably not talked about enough or people don't appreciate, but when you're in the right spot, it helps a lot.
You've mentioned Book's playmaking and what he's been giving you on that front. It feels like he's kind of taking a step up in that regard, especially recently. Is that just spending more time on the ball? Is it spacing around him? Or what are you kind of seeing from him on that front?
I think he's embraced how he can create good shots and particularly threes, but layups and dunks, and I think he's kind of enjoying it. He's such a great scorer. He's such a unique scorer, but the playmaking on top of it. And I think our team needs it. It kind of, I think, brings us together, and he's just been really good understanding it. He's a big part of the discussions on spacing and where guys need to be, and he understands it at a high level, and he's passing it at a high level.
I imagine with a guy like that can obviously get his own bucket at any time. Last night's game winner was a good example of how he can kind of shift from that playmaking to bucket getting what he needs to.
Yeah, no, it's the screening by Oso, the ability for Book just to catch it and have a little bit of an advantage and take it and get to a spot and rise up. He's got the ability to do both. That's why he's a great player.
You said that play came from a play that was run in the Olympics. Did you guys take that directly from the Olympics?
Yes, we should send Steve Kerr a thank you note. It's I think Kevin, Kevin's a big part of it, and so I think it maybe have been run pre-Olympics, but it definitely was run in Paris this summer.
And Book and others have mentioned that the deflections during this stretch have been elevated. Can you give us an idea of how much just over these last 25 games, just that activity has been increased?
Yeah, no, I think it's it's noticeable, it's tangible. Doesn't always lead to turnovers, but it's disruptive in timing, disruptive in the opponent's spacing, the opponent's angles. So I think Ryan has been a huge part of that. Cody getting healthy, Cody being in the lineup, Colin, but Tyus has found ways. Tyus has had a couple back taps, deflections, Oso's hands, Nick block shots. So. Everybody's just participating. It's been good. We're trending in a better direction.
Coach, looking at the replay system now, where they can look at it and if there's a foul, call a foul. How much of a game changer has that been in the shift in the replay?
Yeah, no. Last night we thought that the restricted area one was going to go in our favor, and we didn't have to use the timeout and the challenge. So the referee, those guys are on top of that stuff. They said Kevin was moving a little bit, but even just Kevin's effort to get there and to go vertical, didn't go in our favor, but it's great to not have to use your challenge for them to be able to go and look at that one. But when you do need to use a challenge, look at the replays. I think it's been good for the league, not too much stoppage, hopefully. They're getting in and out of it quicker. But I think overall it's been positive. All right, thanks guys. Have a good day.